Gave me a little guff on the boards last time for Anton Janssen's name.
You calling him Johnson?
I was calling him Johnson.
Oh, Johnson.
Johnson.
Couple creatures for...
Look at his feet going. You guys can't see. Oh, there we go. Look at that. He is going to burst out of that chair. He's practically running in place.
This is different from the top 8 in Paris. In Paris, this top 8 was started after midnight.
It's 1,600 players.
Here, he got a good night's sleep, right?
We assume.
Well, flips and reveals for the Blue Deceiver.
Seems like he's got a very
3 damage.
land-heavy draw there. He's going to
he's 4 in play and 1 coming up. Spring Caller is Fujita's first play.
Okay, he's going to fly over for another 2 here.
So I'm willing to grant you that Dave Humphries is the best pure player of the YMG trio. I'm granting you that point, and this median stat bears that out. That's a lot of the reason I think that he's finished in the money for more years than those guys. I think he's got 9 of the 10 seasons he's got a money finish somewhere. So I have a lot of respect for Humphries. I believe he belongs in the Hall of Fame at some point, and I might even put him on my year 1 ballot. But for me, I think what a Hall of Fame is about is what you actually accomplish. Like finishing in the money a bunch is nice and it counts, but it's not as important as 8 top 8s. I mean, Castle's just 8 top 8s is crazy. It's just way more than anybody else has. We're like, in 10 years, there's only 4 guys that have more than 5. You know, but you got 10 guys at 5, you got a 6, and then there's like 3 guys that are just so far ahead of the rest of the pack that you don't think you can ignore those accomplishments.
Darwin, other than his top 8s, he has a 7. His median finish is 70.
Yeah, I believe Humphries has been over the long run more consistently good than Darwin.
Rob Doherty is 60. His median finish, just to give you an idea, 67. So
Doherty's ahead of Castle as well.
Doherty's ahead of Castle as well. I mean, you can't argue with Castle. I mean, Castle's, Pro Tour points, his winnings, just longevity. He's got a lot of stuff to recommend. But I think Humphries is getting unfair. I'm not saying it's Humphries or Castle necessarily, but I
think all 3 of them belong in the Hall of Fame eventually. And another guy that I'm debating with for my 5th spot is Rob Doherty.
Right.
I mean, Doherty's contributions to the game are such that, like, his accomplishments are great. He's got 5 top 8s. That's as many as Humphries has. Right.
They do have 1 of them together.
He's got 5 in a row. He's got 5 seasons in a row with the top 8, which is kind of a cool stat.
That's remarkable.
I mean, he's not flashy, but he built the team. We wouldn't have Humphries or Castle as much if it wasn't for
certainly wouldn't have Castle.
Humphries might have been the same player.
Humphries was a player in San Diego before he came to
fair.
Before he came to the.
But I still think Rob deserves credit for building the team.
Absolutely.
Now,
Rob's a writer. I mean, Rob
is a Pro Tour Hall of Fame. It's not a Magic Hall of Fame. I mean, Doherty would get more credit in my book if it was a Magic Hall of Fame, because then I'd give him full credit for being a TO and a writer and all those things.
As far as being a Pro Tour Hall of Fame, he does have some pretty important contributions to Pro Tour.
And he's also one of the better deck constructors in the class this year. So, yeah, I think Doherty is also in contention. It's really weird with the 3 of them. Depending on which criterion you look at, a different guy wins. Doherty wins on contributions. Castle wins on accomplishments. Humphries wins on play skill.
Right. And, yes. And what's interesting, I think, about Humphries, another thing that's overlooked, he's only $3,000 in lifetime winnings off from Darwin. Despite a big disparity in top 8, right? He has three top 8.
Yeah, he has been more consistently better than Darwin over the years. Wins money way more often. He seems like he's always in the thick of it. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Dave. I think he's a great player.
And I think if Dave came back, has the Players Club benefits, and was playing regularly, I think he'd still put up a top 8 every year or so. his annual World's top 8.
Quite possibly.
But. It's going to be a very interesting ballot. My ballot is still not set. I think there's a lot of different ways you can take it. What do you think about people who said they only want to vote for one YMG guy?
Yeah, it's not crazy to think that way, but I think it's wrong. But it's sort of subtly wrong. I mean, I don't begrudge somebody their ballot that way, but I mean, I think because I'm tempted by thinking I feel like I should vote for a European player. Just because the Pro Tour is an international game. It shouldn't be all Americans, even in the first class. But then again, I don't think 10 years from now I should be voting for Americans just because there should be an American, even though they all suck, right?
10 years, 5 years from now, you'll be voting for. Right now, the last American to qualify for a class is Osip and Fabiano in 2011.
Right.
They're the only two. I think the only two members of the 2011 class.
Yeah, Osip's got a legit beginnings to a Hall of Fame career. But you see my point, right? I don't think it's right to vote out of obligation and try to round out your ballot. I mean, I'm sympathetic to the argument, but I don't think I buy it at the end of the day. So yeah, I mean, if I'm not going to count it against Humphreys or Dougherty when I finally figure out who my fifth spot should be. There's Masashi Oiso, the only guy already qualified for the class of 2012, well over 100 Pro Tour points quickly in his career.
Watching from the sidelines.
And that's true.
Watching Fujita from the rail.
Yep.
Looking,
yeah, game 5 between Fujita and Zidek. It's gotten a little bogged down.
Fujita just traded a moonbow for empty graves.
And countered a hired muscle. And now all of a sudden here comes Moskami. Moskami looks gigantic against Zidek's
towering over Zidek's creatures.
Getting that hired muscle countered seems pretty big.
Yeah, if hired muscle resolves and turns on, Fujita doesn't have anything to do about that guy.
It's true.
He builds up for one turn and just swarms through.
Leave it to Tsuyoshi Fujita to just come at the whole format from a different angle. For him, this format is a counter magic format, apparently.
Counter magic format and mid-range creatures. He doesn't have a lot of beatdown stuff.
Right.
You know, he's definitely playing these 4 drops and 6 drops and
this deck does not look like anything that anyone else drafts, which means if he wants it, he can get the cards late.
It really looks like a Mikey P deck to me. you got to remember that the Moskami is something that Masashi Oiso is a player who likes green.
Yeah.
Wants to be green and just waved his hand under his nose at Moskami. He doesn't think it's a card that he even wants to go green on.
Right.
Again, although that's just one more pick where who knows how his draft would have turned out.
Yeah. But I presume that probably is the Moskami that Oiso opened and shipped without a second thought. Vegeta's like, ooh, Moskami. After I've countered a couple spells and gained control of the board, I shall play this. Yeah, I mean, Vegeta playing cards nobody else is playing just should not surprise anybody. That's awesome.
Looking for ways Zidek has to. He's got a clutch.
Now he's got Scuttling Death. He can trade that for Moskami, right? If Vegeta doesn't have a trick. Get that. He's got an empty graves in his graveyard too, right?
Yes, he does.
I actually think the leading candidate for the fifth spot on my ballot right now is a second YMG guy.
A second YMG guy. Are you going to tell us who the other?
Well, Finkel, obviously.
Obviously.
And I hope Finkel gets a unanimous pick. Oh, Fujita ran the Pithing Needle.
He did run the Pithing Needle. And
interesting. Oh, and it shuts down Scuttling Death here. It's actually good. How bizarre.
Actually, I heard a number of people running Pithing Needle this weekend and having some success with it. I believe Nikolai Herzog trotted it out there a turn after his opponent played a Jitte.
Huh. Wow. Yeah, that's good.
If not, it was either Nikolai or Tommy. I'm not sure who.
G-Deck picks up the 15 needle, wants to make sure. Probably wondering whether Solstice still triggers, which it does, right? Of course. Looks like Fujita attacked with the Spring Caller and played a Mirror Guard. Did not attack with his Moskami. Also, did not spend his Spring Caller mana. Oh my god, just tapped a land instead. Oh, so my ballot has Finkel, of course. Castle, I've argued for. Yeah, I think Finkel should get the honor of being unanimous. I really hope nobody games the system and denies him the vote, because I think being unanimous could become, you know, in baseball, getting in on the first ballot is a big deal. I mean, first ballot could be a big deal for Magic as well, but it'd be kind of neat if there's this extra level of unanimous.
I don't know that there's any other unanimous player.
Well, Kai should be a couple years from now.
Until Kai.
Right, it should be like